What's up everyone, it's Chachi Power here to do a CollectionDX review, and I'm so excited because it's on one of my favorite robots, Daitarn 3. This is a solo Chogokin release from Bandai, and again, very happy to do this review. Now, a couple things. There is the GX-65 Daitarn 3 release, which is the regular version of this, since this is technically a repaint, although it doesn't have an R designation after the number. But it really just is that, a repaint with a different type of stand. You don't get any extra weapons, you don't get any less weapons, you don't get any different accessories, literally just different colors. So the three things that I want to go over that are the biggest differences is the box, for those of you that care, the actual robot colors, and the stand. Alright, now Josh already did the review for the GX-65, so there's really no reason to go into incredible depth with the review, since it is the same exact figure that Josh reviewed. Again, it's just really the color differences. But you'll see back here in the box, it shows the three different modes. You get the robot mode, you got the die fighter and a die tank, and then the stand here, which is different than the regular release. All right, the regular release uses the actual treads back here to form this crazy looking stand thing. For those guys out there that like to make stand displays, not a big fan myself, but, and of course the mock attacker, mock patrol thingy right here, excellent little piece on its own, which I definitely will show you. All right, and then you get three little versions. You get the let's see, right down here you can see them, three little PVC versions, very tiny, right? You get the mock patrol, then you get the mock attacker without the wings, I guess with the wings folded up for the docking position, and then the actual mock attacker here. All right, so it's just miniature versions of this guy right here. And then of course all the gimmicks and accessories that you find in the regular version, including the crotch missile, which I love, right there, shoots, or that doesn't actually shoot, but in real life it would. And yeah, so that's the box. And just so you guys, or just a refresher for you guys, or for you guys that don't know what it looks like, here's the original box. A little less colorful, a little more plain, still a cool box, but I do prefer the look of the new one. So let that sink in for a second, show you the back just so you can see the differences. Alright, so yeah, so that's the original box. And now we actually get to see the figure. So here is the GX-65 Daitarn. At first glance, really there's no big significant differences. If you just take a look at it, no big significant differences apart from the gold-plated crest here, which not sure if it really shows up on camera, but it's got a greenish tint to it. I think what they're doing really with these is just chroming them, just regular chrome, and then applying a clear, like candy yellow paint over it, which I think that's the effect they're trying to go for. I've seen it done on some Japanese Transformers and other toys, and it always has that greenish hue, but really it's just meant to be gold chroming there. But I don't know why they choose to paint over regular chrome, but that's how it is. And just for you guys, which you'll see later on in the video, you might want to do this, or well, I'll go into it later, but the crest is actually molded in yellow plastic, so you can remove the chrome plating to leave yellow if you just prefer it to be yellow. Alright, so that we can compare with the old one, I've got the regular Daitarn right here. Alright, now again, side by side, you can't really see many differences, at least here with my camera, but aside from the crest, the biggest difference is really this section here, not the shoulders, but just the behind this red chest piece here. The blue there, and you'll see it better in the written review, is lighter than it is on the regular version. The regular version has all dark blues. There's different shades. This blue here is actually lighter than the shoulder on the original, but not as light as this one. I think this one is a little more anime correct. So if you're looking for anime correct, this is definitely the version to go with if you can either take the chrome off, or if you have one of these guys, just take off the crest of this to put it on that, just to have it, if it bothers you to have the gold one. I'm not really digging the gold too much. I am digging the colors, alright, but not really the whole gold crest thing. Another big difference between these guys is the colors used on the shoulders. Alright, so this guy, little shoulder pieces, are painted in a metallic silver. Alright, like a little silverish paint there. This one looks gray because it is gray. It is painted, it's not gray plastic, so it doesn't look cheap. It does look nicely painted and glossy. It's meant to look like the cartoon. That's really what they were going for there. And you also get that same gray right here on the crotch panels, as opposed to the original, which has silver. Now if we take a look back here, you can kind of see the differences in the blue a little bit better. This one's a lighter blue with little metallic flakes in it. They both have metallic flakes, but they're a little more vivid on this one due to the lighter color. Yellows are exactly the same. I don't see any kind of differences. I do have the articulated hand on this one, and the regular PVC fist on this, but it's a darker, like richer, like I don't know how to explain it. The blue is really nice on this, and it carries on to the PVC version of these hands, but these are the articulated ones. But the PVC carry the same nice deep blue metallic color. If you already have the original, it does not bother you at all to have the original. There's really absolutely no reason to go ahead and buy the new one. But if you looked at your original Daitarn and you said, oh, the colors are a little dark, I wish they were a little lighter, you may end up liking this one a lot more. The way I like mine a lot more is really by doing this. Alright, because I can't stand, or not that I can't stand, I'd rather not have this be gold when the rest of the figure's yellow. It just doesn't match. But if you check out the new one with the yellow crest, now we're talking, guys. Look at this. This is definitely a lot better looking. Even more so than the original. Original I did feel was a little dark, especially now comparing it to this one, which to me is the better color, so long as you can put a yellow crest, either paint the one it comes with or just use one off your original, if you are lucky enough to have both. Now the reds are also a little bit richer on the new color. I can really tell a difference here on the feet. These are kind of like almost like a faded red kind of look, and these are much richer, like a Ferrari red. So that's really it, guys, as far as comparing these two. They are the same exact figure. I don't see any improvements anywhere. I did kind of notice the hands, these fold-up hands, when you push them into the forearm, were a little easier to take out on one side. The other one was still kind of difficult. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, you can put PVC hands, but there's actually hands inside the forearm, which I decided to just leave on this one, that can be pushed in. I'll do it on this side since this is the easy one to pull out. So you'll see it just comes right out. You can just grab it. If I do this side, it stays inside. It's a little bit of a pain in the butt, but it's really difficult on the original. And I was just telling you guys about the hand differences as far as color. This one seems to have been painted a metallic blue. This one's just molded in the color blue of the PVC. So you can kind of see little swirl marks from the actual PVC being molded in there. But this one seems to have been sprayed with that nice blue. So you can actually see the difference there. It really looks nice with the paint on it. And of course it does come with the extra gold crest. This crest here is a little bit smaller. It's used for perfect transformation because it folds. So during transformation you can actually fold it in with the head. What I would do is not even use any of the crests if you don't want to scuff them up and make transformation harder. But if you must absolutely do perfect transformation, this is the one you would use. Slightly smaller than the one there. And of course you also get the open mouth face. Alright, so you can do various other poses with his mouth open. I always choose to leave the serious face here with the mouth closed, but it's cool that they included this. So it gives you a little bit more you know, I guess play value or display value, I mean. But yeah, so that's pretty cool. Alright guys, so now we're going to go over the weapons. Alright, the first one that I showed you guys is here, right in the crotch. You just push on his crotch and there goes the Daitarn missile. Alright, then we also have the Daitarn Zamber shown here. What's cool is it does have a hilt that's actually collapsible, and you can actually place the blade, as you can see here, and it looks really cool. Very nice chrome. The blades are a bit thin, but that's fine. As long as you're careful with them, you'll be alright. They do look excellent with Daitarn. And this one's called the Tine Snapper. It's actually a multi-part piece. There's a bunch of different ways you can set it up, but here's just a couple of shots of what you can do with it. It does come with flexible hoses and stiff ones depending on how you want to pose Daitarn with it. And then of course the infamous Daitarn fan. This is what he uses really to bitch slap his enemies. I've seen it done. It has made me giggle a bit. It's kind of weird to see a super robot with a gigantic fan, but it works for Daitarn. So if it looks silly to you, at least find an episode that shows him using it, and then you'll understand what it's all about. But all the pieces are here to make the closed one, the regular sort of open one, and the completely round one. And one of my favorites, which was one of my favorites as a kid, the original Daitarn, is the Daitarn Javelin. This thing looks excellent. It is a lot better looking than the original in this version. You'll see it's actually got 4 blades, and it's a nice long weapon which you can hold with both hands. And one of the other awesome ones is of course a Daitarn hammer. It's got a gold chain and it's got spikes on the end, and again you can hold it with both hands and look really awesome. One of my favorites in the set. Now, of course, this figure does transform, but not in the sense like a transformer where it's very intricate and the end result is crazy looking. Obviously, the main priority for this figure is to look awesome in robot mode. The transformation is pretty much like the old figure. Obviously, it looks a lot more awesome, but the end result is pretty much the same in his vehicle modes, which is Die Fighter. Now, here he is in Die Fighter mode. I'm going to be honest, even though the transformation is okay, I mean it's a little more involved than the original toy, but it was a little bit of a mess just trying to, because of the weight of the figure and all the little things that have to be moved and everything, and it's just like a disaster for paint scratching. But it is possible to do it neatly if you're patient without messing anything up. But not really big into wanting to transform this constantly, but here he is in Die Fighter mode, and of course it's really just him laying down with his legs tucked up behind this way, and you get the front here and the bottom. It's literally just the toy laying down. And down in here, and it's a little tough to get to, is the crotch area where the little mock attacker would go, and it's really hard to get with your fingernail, especially with my fat fingers. But this would go down. Normally I just use an X-Acto knife to pull that down, but not even going to bother. There's a picture of that in the written review on CollectionDX.com, so if you want to see that, check it out. But that's where it would go, a little PVC figure. Yeah, so let's move ahead. And back here is a sorry excuse for landing gear. I mean, this is just completely horrid. It's pretty stupid looking to me, and there's no landing gear up front, so you literally need a stand. I'm using this Energon cube here to hold him up just for the review, but it would be nice if they just threw those landing gear pieces back there. They should have done something with the front. And the next one, which is probably my favorite, I guess, is the Die Tank. So here he is in Die Tank mode. You'll see the treads down here are rather small, almost like little baby treads, and they look out of scale. This is more just to show that it can be done with a perfect transformation, although obviously this is going to suffer, and it's not really going to stand up on there. It's just going to bump right onto the chest on the floor and screw it up. So I don't suggest leaving it with these little treads. Number one, it looks dumb. Number two, it's not the best for it. So it does come with anime accurate treads, which we're going to check out now. Alright guys, so you see here the tank mode is much better with the proper sized tank treads, and they actually do roll, as you can see right here, and it looks so much better. I don't know why anybody would bother with the little ones. In case you're wondering why it does wobble, I don't have it properly secured down here, just so I can mess with it a little bit easier for the review, but it does secure itself to the tread set here much better, so you don't get this wobble here. And what I'm talking about is a little clip that's on the side of the smaller treads, clips onto the side. And as a matter of fact, I'll go ahead and show you that. You'll see these little tabs, this right here that I'm touching with my thumb, and this here, secure themselves to this little ledge right here. And the only thing left to do here, guys, is to pull the cannons out. But as long as you got a little bit of a fingernail going, you can go ahead and slide them out to get the proper cannons. Just be careful not to completely pop them out of the socket here. Sometimes these things pop off, but there you go. You get the cannons. They're a little loose if you don't pull them out correctly. There we go. And yeah, so that's die tank mode with cannon. And yes, it's just his legs folded back and his arms forward with his head hidden. But that's the way this figure is designed, guys. And even in the anime, it's just like this. But still cool, still cool. And we'll go ahead and take a look at the back here. And you'll see where the knees bend. It does show off some booster sets here, which is cool because the old toy would just fold in half and not have any kind of detail there. But they did preserve some detail on here to make it look that much better for the type of transformation it is, which is something very, very simple. And just a little tip for you guys that hate scratching up stuff like I do, just be aware that these pieces, when you do go to put it on this here, these treads do rest up on this red here, which is paint, okay, and also down here. So if you plan on moving it around, I suggest you put little pieces of tape, not necessarily Scotch tape, maybe little pieces of masking tape where it touches. Although that, if you leave it for a long time, will leave residue, but at least you're aware that these are spots where it can't scratch, and also where the yellow here lays on the front here. Alright, so those things to be wary of when it comes to scuffing. Alright guys, so this brings us to the end of the review. I hope you enjoyed it. Here he is with a bunch of other Daitarns. We have the one we just reviewed there, the original Daitarn 3 Soul of Chogokin, and the various different Daitarns I've collected over the years that I love very much. Make sure you check out Josh's review. It's a little more in depth since I didn't want to make his review irrelevant with this one, but make sure you check that out for the original GX-63, and also check out the written review for the one I just did. And if you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Until next time, bye bye.